Hi, I'm Leeanna, and I'm going to tell you about how breast cancer made me into an entrepreneur.
Leeanna Gantt, inventor of TukTake, is our guest on Invention Stories on YouTube.
In 2018, I was diagnosed with breast cancer, and I had chemotherapy and surgery and radiation, and along with that, I had really bad chemo brain, and if you've never had chemo brain, hopefully you haven't, it's like mom brain. You just can't remember anything. And even with my family's help, I was having a really hard time managing the 10 or 12 medications they gave me to help with all the side effects I had from chemo and radiation. And I started to make these little labels to help our family keep track of everything, and so they know when I took something or when I needed to take it again. And throughout the year, I just kind of kept on playing with them and trying different things and making them better. And by the end of the treatment, I was like, these are really helpful. So I kept using them because I needed to take a multivitamin to get my strength back. And there's one medication I have to take every day for 5 to 10 years to help keep my cancer away. And I really want to remember to take that. And you would think that just knowing that this is saving my life, this one little pill, would be enough to make me remember to take it. But I cannot remember if I took that thing or not if I don't have the TukTake label on it. So I use them every day. I want everybody to try TukTake out if you need to use or take anything. I say use because TukTake, my favorite thing about TukTake when I was in treatment is it works on everything. Liquids, lotions, creams, cough syrups. It's really awesome that way because all I could find were pill boxes and things like a pill box or had a similar function. And they didn't work on what I had. I had a mouthwash, I had a cough syrup, I had this cream I had to put on twice a day during radiation. And there was no way to keep track of any of that.
We have Leeanna on the line from Pasadena, California, so let's roll. Welcome to Invention Stories on YouTube. I want to get right into it, Leeanna. When you were diagnosed with breast cancer, how did you respond?
I think it's still taken a while to sink in. My initial response was to be super annoyed because we had stuff to do and things planned, and I was more just like, well, I don't have time for this. Like, what is this? I don't have time to do this right now. But yeah, I think after that it was just like, okay, I need to just get through it and do what the doctors say. And I felt like, I think as a family we just deferred to our team of doctors, and we trusted them so much that it was all in their hands. So I just did what they said, and my family made sure that I did what they said, and the treatment was really successful. So it worked out well for us.
Where did you have to go? Was it in Pasadena?
No, actually at the time that I was diagnosed, we were living in Arizona in Phoenix. So all my doctors and everything were out in Phoenix, and we were out there for a year and a half. And then when I was done with treatment, we moved back to LA because we had moved to Phoenix from LA and we moved back here.
And how were the chemotherapy sessions? Did they start off long and get shorter over time?
Yeah, for the first 6 months, it was like I think it was like 5 hours or so. And then the second 6 months, I think it dropped down to like 2.5 or 3 hours. So
did you sit there watching TV?
I had a tendency to fall asleep because they give, to stop a lot of like allergic reactions, they'd give me a hearty dose of Benadryl, like through the IV or through the port, which would just knock me out. So my husband and I would like chat and stuff for a little while, but as soon as the Benadryl hit, I was asleep for most of it, which was fine by me.
All right, well, let's get into it. What is TukTake?
So TukTake is a little label that you can put on anything you have to take. This one's on a square bottle just to show that it can go on anything. You basically stick it on whatever you need to take, and then there's little tabs on it this is a daily one, so it has the days of the week. And then when you take your dose, you just pull the tab off. I like to stick them on the top just for a second reminder, but that way it lets me know I already took it, or if it's still there, I know I still need to take it. They work if you need to take something once or twice a day. And they come in 4 different variations for daily, hourly. This is our 7 to 10 day label. That's great for antibiotics, anything you have to take for a short amount of time. And we just launched a monthly version that's really great for pet owners because a lot of pet owners really love TukTake also because pets don't tell you at all if they took it. So
No,
It's because we'll have a way to track it.
they don't talk when you're around, huh?
No, they don't help much. So, yeah, we were actually kind of surprised at first. When we first launched Tuk Take, we were bought by more pet owners than anything else. Now we have more customers buying it for themselves, but we still have a lot of pet owners who really like it.
I think Tuk Take is a no-brainer, and I'm kind of surprised they don't already have something like it already on the bottles when you get them at the pharmacy. So, is that the goal, to have the pharmacy place your labels on the medicine?
Yeah, and we'd love for them to be included with all prescriptions or even over-the-counter medications, just that people need to know if they took their allergy medication and stuff. So eventually I'd love for them to be included. We found out why they aren't included right now. They're not being put on by pharmacies. We spend a lot of time talking to pharmacies. There's so much regulation and legal issues with what pharmacists actually place on a bottle and liability and things. So right now, Tuk Take's great just for the customer, because I think it also lets people adjust to what they need and what they feel like they need help remembering, and which things they feel like they need it for. But I was really surprised to find out that there wasn't something like Tuk Take that was so simple out there when we went to apply for the patent. Even our patent attorney was just like, oh, I think we're going to find this out there and you're not going to be able to get a patent. And it actually, we couldn't find anything out there. So she got really excited. So that was good.
Do you have a patent now?
Yeah, we have a patent, and we actually got a patent really quickly because there were so few other things for them to review. I think our patent was issued it was less than a year. I think it was like 9 months, which they said was pretty unheard of. She'd had patents she'd been working on for like 2 and 3 years. So.
And why name it Tuk Take?
We went through a lot of different names when we were trying to, think of a name, and then at first it was a joke, and then it just kind of caught on, and we liked it because it tells you what it does. Like, once it's a reminder to know, if you took or still need to take your medication. And it was easy to trademark because it's a nonsense word, but it is still words. So it made it unique, and there wasn't anything else with that name. Some of the other names we came up with first, that I can't even remember what they were now, they were already the names of so many other things that it seemed like they'd be challenging to trademark or to create a brand around. So Tuk Take just became the name.
And how about your website, tuktake.com? Did you build it yourself or did you outsource it?
We're lucky because my husband and I are both creative directors from advertising. So we both have a really strong design background. So we've been able to do all of our website and packaging and product design, and anything design we've been able to do ourselves, which has been very helpful.
So how do you get the word out?
It's hard as a new company with a small budget. It's difficult, and the kind of advertising we worked on was like car companies that had a lot of money. As a small business, we rely a lot on word of mouth, and customers who really like it are really our best source of advertising. Because if somebody's friend tells them about it or tells them a great experience they had with it, there's nothing we could say that's more powerful than that. So our thing now is just really trying to get people to try it, getting samples to people. We're actually launching in Walmart at the end of the month. And then we're going to be in another big pharmacy chain that I can't say yet after the first of the year. So we're hoping as people hear about Tuk Take and then start to see it when they're getting their medications and vitamins and things, that they'll recognize it and say, oh yeah, I want to try that. And then they'll have a good experience. We have a really good repurchase rate. People who try it, like it, and buy it again. So that tells us that there's something to it. And then they also do tell their friends, which is helpful. So that's what we're counting on, is a lot of word of mouth.
Word of mouth is great. And who do you find is buying it? Who's your target market?
Yeah, and a lot of moms are buying it for kids who are in college, because people take medications for so many things that people don't realize, different chronic conditions that they have. And like, people have all kinds of issues, from minor things like allergies to high cholesterol, or a lot of students take things for like ADHD, or anxiety and depression. And so there's a huge population of younger people who have really busy schedules, and they're just not used to taking things, and they forget, and their schedules are always changing, so it's confusing. And that's actually been people who really appreciate TikTok the most have been people who are in their like late teens, mid 20s, who are just busy, but they still want to take care of themselves. So that's been really interesting for us to find out, because we never intended for it to be for older people, because just a lot of older people already have systems in place that they like and they're comfortable with. But it's more for people who don't have anything or don't feel like they found anything that they could use. And TikTok's been really good for that.
So how does TikTok specifically work? Do you put on a week's worth at a time? Are they tabs? Are they stickers?
It's like a sticker with little perforated tabs that come off. It depends on your dosing. Like this is one we call the 10-day one. And it's for mostly like used for antibiotics or things that you just have to take for a short amount of time. So like if you took it twice a day, you would pull like one tab off one side in the morning and the other side in the evening. So that would last you for 10 days. On the daily ones, if you take something once a day, a label lasts for 2 weeks. And there's 4 labels in a package. So that would last you for 2 months. And it makes it really easy. The other thing that's really unique about TikTok versus all the other reminders out there is it can work on anything, any form of medications. Like all of the kids' medications and cough syrups and all those, they're liquid. So you can't put that in a pill box. It would make a mess. So like all the, like moms like it because it works on all the liquids and lotions and drops and things that you have for little kids. So it wraps around any type or size of packaging, which also makes it really handy because you can have all the instructions and everything there right with you. You don't have to memorize the dosing or the warnings or anything, and you just keep, this is there with the package and the medicine, and it's all together and nice and safe in its child safe packs.
So when are you going to be in Walmart?
We're supposed to be in there the last week of October is what I was told.
What's going to go through your mind when you see it on the shelf for the first time? Are you going to do yourself a little dance?
Yeah, I think so. Now I'm just waiting. We've been doing the shipping the last few weeks, and like we had to scale up quicker than I anticipated. Like whenever I said, "Oh, are you ready to scale? Are you ready to scale?" I say, "Of course." How hard could that be? Harder than I thought it would be. There's a lot of little parts that I didn't know anything about, which is probably good. I think it's better when I don't know too much about things until I need to, because I don't have time to panic. I just have to get them done. So that's been my method. But yeah, we've got stuff. It's shipping and it should be there and ready to be there at the end of the month. So yeah, I hope everybody goes to Walmart and looks for it and buys it.
How did you get into Walmart?
Walmart did a thing called Open Call USA that I guess they've been doing for a little while now, where they're trying to find like thousands of US made and manufactured brands to support and bring into Walmart stores. And you just fill out an application that basically is just your name and your company, like really basic information, and some pictures of your product and like your website or something. And then if they want to talk to you, then you kind of work through their process and you get different notifications. So I applied for Open Call and we got a meeting with the Walmart buyer who was really nice. She was super amazing. And you have a half an hour meeting with the Walmart buyer. This time it was via Zoom because of COVID. I guess usually they do them in person. But yeah, we had sent samples in advance and our samples didn't get there for some reason. But so we did the whole thing over Zoom. And at the end of it, she had said, "This is great. I really want to bring it on, but we just closed our review for our section. So we can't onboard you till October of 2022. And so I was really excited because I'm like, okay, next year, this year, I don't care. We're going to be at Walmart. And then she actually called back like 10 minutes later and said, yeah, I decided to go talk to my boss. And she talked to her people and they reopened their whole thing and put us in and got us in for this year, which was really amazing that they did that much work because it was a lot of work for them to work us in. And I guess they don't usually do that. So we felt very lucky. And then for our part, we just had to agree that we could meet their deadlines, because most of the other companies that they had signed on were like 2 and 3 months ahead of us. So we only had like 6 weeks to get it all done, and they had months. But we did it. My husband helped a ton, and the other people on our team have helped, and we've made it happen. So
Where do you have them put together? Is it right there locally in Pasadena?
no, they're actually manufactured. We have a few different printers we work with. They're actually surprisingly difficult to print. So we've had a lot of people try and not be able to do it. We have some of our printing's done in Colorado. Some of it's done here in North Hollywood. We have some of our packaging being done in Minnesota, but it's all US. It's all made in the US. It's actually packaged here in Pasadena. It was really important to me, since it is a simple product, even though we might be able to get it cheaper overseas, there was no reason for it to not be made here. I know some people who have products that actually they can't be made in the US. The cost makes it so that they can't make it here, but we didn't have that, so I definitely wanted to make sure we stayed here.
I'd like to ask you about your packaging. Take us through how it came to the way it looks today.
Well, my original packaging design was completely different, and we found out it was ridiculously expensive to make, so we had to change our packaging. And I thought our packaging was really awesome, and then we were told actually by one of the drugstore chains we were presenting to that if we wanted them to consider it, we had to change our packaging. So I was devastated, because I was like, but I love our package. And we redesigned it. Actually, my husband redesigned it, and he's super good at that. But yeah, packaging is its own thing. It's very different than like the kind of design work we did, and from the production of it and just what it has to do it's its own unique thing. So that's been a kind of steep learning curve for us, but I think we finally caught on.
Women inventors in the 7%. And Leeanna, you're one of the 45 women inventors who contributed to this book, and I like how you're trying to do a little bit of selling. I'd like you to share what you've contributed.
Yeah, I was like, at that point, I think when I wrote this, we were still really, really trying to get out there. So I'm just like, oh, I have a chance to like put in a little plug for TikTok, so I'm going to do that. Yeah. What I wrote is, I'm very proud to be part of such a small group. I feel like there are many more female inventors out there who haven't taken the time to patent their ideas, especially moms. Moms are so good at coming up with ways to do things that make it easier and more efficient, but most of them don't have the time to make it a product or a business. I feel very lucky that I've had the support and opportunity to bring my idea to market. I created TikTok dosage reminder labels to solve a problem that I was having, and was so surprised to learn that many other people were having the same problem. But until TikTok, there hadn't been anything designed with younger people in mind. Once I realized that, I knew I had to make TikTok available to help as many people as I could. You can read more about TikTok and how I invented TikTok during my treatment for breast cancer at TikTok.com.
Well, Leeanna, thank you for being our guest today on Invention Stories on YouTube. But before I let you go, I'd like to ask you one final question, and that is,
somebody has an idea for an invention. They don't know anything about the inventing process or what to do, how to start, where to go, and they ask you for your advice. What advice would you give them?
I think take it slow. Don't make too much of your product or packaging, or don't get too much of anything before you start to get feedback. We printed a lot of things, not product, but just a lot of different things where, I'd go to order it and it's like, $50 more to get 20 times as much. So I would do that. And then we realized we don't need that. And we have like 10,000 of them sitting around. So I think take it slow, do things in small increments until you're pretty sure you know what you're doing, or you just end up with a lot of waste. Check out TikTok. We'll be in Walmart end of the month.
And the website?
Oh, website is TikTok.com.